Hello, thank you for coming back. Today, we will explore a profound and mysterious topic. Can you see your guardian angel before you die? Have you ever wondered who will welcome you at the final moment of your life? Will there be a gentle light, a sacred presence waiting for you beyond the boundary of existence? Or is it merely a comforting illusion humans create to ease their fear of death? Stories of dying individuals witnessing a miraculous light, hearing soothing whispers, or sensing a divine presence are not uncommon. Could these be fabrications, or are they signs from God, reassuring us that we are not alone when we leave this world? Today, we embark on a journey to uncover this wondrous mystery. 1. The role of guardian angels in the journey of the soul. In the quiet moments of life, have you ever felt an invisible hand gently guiding you? When your heart is filled with anxiety, when challenges seem insurmountable, have you ever sensed a miraculous comfort, as if someone were whispering softly in your ear, "Do not be afraid, I am with you"? A guardian angel is not merely a distant legend. In faith, angels are messengers sent by God to protect, guide, and accompany each person on their life's journey. They do not always appear as depicted in ancient paintings or mystical dreams. Sometimes they are simply a gentle presence during the most critical moments. There are stories of children who, on the brink of life and death, suddenly feel a sustaining force, as if an invisible embrace is holding them. There are those who, lost in the sea of suffering, in a fleeting moment, experience deep comfort, like a reminder from the divine. Keep going. God has promised that no one walks alone, and guardian angels are the embodiment of that promise. In the Bible, angels are not only messengers of God, but also protectors of the soul. Scripture says, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Psalm 91:11. Not a single moment of our lives is left unattended, even when the world turns its back on us, even when the roads ahead are shrouded in darkness. There is still a heavenly light watching over and shielding us. So, when life reaches its final chapter, when our steps slow and our breaths become fragile, are guardian angels there? Do they appear to guide us into the eternal world? This is a question many have pondered, not just with reason, but through their own sacred experiences. Some people, in their last moments, look up and smile serenely. Some whisper words that no one else understands, as if they are conversing with someone only they can see. And there are stories of mysterious lights appearing in the rooms of the dying, bringing an indescribable sense of peace. Could these be guardian angels standing by, gently leading the soul into God's embrace? A doctor once shared the story of one of his elderly patients. The man had been battling a terminal illness for years. In his final days, surrounded by family, he suddenly gazed at the ceiling with eyes filled with awe. In a weak but assured voice, he said, "They are here. There is light, and arms open to welcome me." His family saw nothing, but right after those words, he closed his eyes. His breath became as light as a breeze, and he departed this world with a peaceful smile. Such stories are not rare. Those who have had near-death experiences often describe an overwhelming sense of peace, as if someone is waiting for them on the other side. Some see a radiant light, some hear singing, and others even feel a warm hand on their shoulder, as if to say, "It's okay, you're going home." Perhaps guardian angels do not appear in the way we expect. Perhaps they do not come with dazzling wings or a radiant halo, but they are there in the gentleness of a breeze, in a profound sense of peace when we close our eyes and drift toward the light. We do not have to wait until our final moments to seek the presence of our guardian angels. They have been with us since the day we were born and will remain until we leave this world. It's just that, amid the noise of life, we sometimes forget how to listen. If there ever comes a time when your heart feels lost, if there are sleepless nights where an unexplainable sadness lingers in your soul, try closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and listening. Perhaps in that very moment, your guardian angel is near, gently placing a hand upon you, whispering, "You are not alone. I am always here." 2. Moments between life and death. When the soul feels the sacred, there are moments in life when a person reaches the fragile boundary between life and death. It could be when a severe illness leaves the body weak and exhausted, or when an unexpected accident forces someone to confront their greatest fear, the fear of losing themselves, losing the familiar world, losing everything they love. In those moments, a person does not only struggle with physical pain, but also faces a far greater battle, the battle of the soul. Many people have said that in near-death experiences, they suddenly become aware of a presence they had never noticed before. A warm breath, a gentle light, a feeling of protection that cannot be explained in words. Are guardian angels real? This is a question millions have asked when recounting their experiences of escaping death. A man who nearly drowned once shared that as he sank into the freezing water, a voice echoed in his mind, urging him not to give up. In his most desperate moment, he felt an invisible force pulling him up, and when he regained consciousness, he had no idea how he had survived. An elderly woman, after days in a coma, suddenly opened her eyes, looked toward the corner of the room, and whispered, "I see them. They are so beautiful." Just a few hours later, she passed away with a serene expression on her face. These stories are not mere fantasies. In medicine, such phenomena are referred to as near-death experiences. But those who have crossed that threshold believe these moments are sacred signs. Perhaps the hand of God reaching out to welcome their soul, or perhaps their guardian angel fulfilling their final duty, guiding them home. Perhaps even in the days when we are healthy and full of life, we can still feel the presence of guardian angels if we truly listen. It might be a strong intuition that stops us just before stepping onto a dangerous path. It could be a strange dream that leaves us with an unexplainable sense of peace. It might be a person we happen to meet in life, yet somehow their words hold the power to heal our hearts at exactly the moment we need it most. God never leaves us alone. And if we believe that there are things in this world beyond human understanding, then perhaps we will begin to see signs of guardian angels everywhere. So if one day you feel emptiness in your heart, try to listen. Remember, there is always a divine hand ready to lift you up, even when you don't realize it. 3. Lost souls. When guardian angels try to bring us back, life is sometimes a stormy journey, and not everyone can hold on to their faith when faced with deep sorrow. Some people become lost in despair, gradually losing the will to live, forgetting the light of God, forgetting that they were never truly alone. But even in the most misguided moments, guardian angels are always there, finding every possible way to call us back. When a person endures too much pain, they can fall into a state of disconnection from themselves. They feel empty, adrift, like a boat floating aimlessly on an endless ocean. Broken dreams, irreparable losses, and years of accumulated suffering can make them stop believing in anything. And it is in these moments that their guardian angel tries harder than ever to bring their lost soul back to the light. Have you ever wondered why, in the darkest moments of your life, something miraculous sometimes happens? Maybe a stranger appears and says something that completely changes your perspective. Maybe a song plays at the exact moment your heart needs to hear it. Or maybe you have a dream where a deceased loved one smiles at you, as if to remind you that you are still loved and protected. These are not coincidences. These are messages, ways in which guardian angels awaken our hearts. A young woman once fell into deep depression after losing the person she loved most. Each passing day felt like a nightmare, but one night she dreamed of a woman dressed in white, standing in a vast field of flowers. The woman said nothing. She only looked at her with eyes full of love. And when the young woman stepped closer, the woman gently touched her hand. In that moment, a wave of warmth spread through her body, as if a heavy burden had been lifted. When she woke up, she could not forget that gaze. She felt, with certainty, that it was not just a dream. It was a sacred message. She was not alone. And from that day on, her life slowly began to change. Sometimes, guardian angels cannot directly interfere with our decisions, but they always try to send us signs. They are the rays of light that appear when we think the world is only darkness. They are the gentle breeze that caresses our face on our loneliest days. They are the invisible peace we feel when we fall to our knees, whispering lovingly, "Do not be afraid. You are not alone. I am always here." No matter how far we stray, no matter how lost our soul becomes, no matter how long we have forgotten the light of God, our guardian angel has never left our side. They wait patiently, day by day, moment by moment, until we find our way home. 4. Sacred moments. When guardian angels touch our lives, there are events in life that cannot be explained by logic alone. Some call them coincidences, while others see them as the mysterious workings of fate. But for those who believe in the presence of guardian angels, nothing happens by chance. Everything is a loving arrangement from God, and the angels are simply fulfilling their mission, helping us perceive the light even when we are surrounded by darkness. When you face a life or death decision and suddenly hear a voice in your mind warning you to stop, when you survive a terrible accident without a single scratch, when you are lost in the forest, yet a path suddenly appears before you, as if someone is guiding you. Is that truly just luck? Or is it a sign of an invisible hand protecting you? There is a story that many still tell as proof of the existence of guardian angels. A man was driving on a stormy night. The road was empty, the sky pitch black, with only his headlights illuminating the path ahead. Suddenly, an eerie sensation crept over him, as if someone was watching him from the back seat. He turned around, but there was no one there. His heart pounded as he reassured himself that it was just his imagination. But at that exact moment, a voice rang in his mind, clear and strong. "Stop the car now." Without knowing why, he immediately hit the brakes. Just seconds later, a speeding truck roared past the intersection ahead. If he hadn't stopped, he might not have survived. Stories like these are not uncommon. Many people have had similar experiences, moments when they felt an invisible force protecting them, a hand catching them before they fell into an abyss, a light illuminating their path in times of danger, a warmth soothing their heart when they felt they had lost everything. Guardian angels do not always appear in a form that can be seen with the naked eye. Sometimes they come as an intuition, a dream, or an event that seems coincidental, but is actually designed to save us. And the most special thing is this: they can only touch us when we are truly listening. Perhaps, Many times in life, guardian angels have tried to warn us, but we were too consumed by daily worries to notice. Perhaps they have sent us signs, but we dismissed them, thinking they were just imagination. But if we take a moment to be still, to open our hearts, we will realize that the angels have always been there, simply waiting for us to acknowledge their presence. A woman once shared a story about her young son. When he was only 4 years old, he often talked to himself, but whenever his mother asked, he would just smile and say, "Mommy, there's a very beautiful person who plays with me." At first, she thought it was just a child's imagination. But one night, when the boy woke up and looked at the ceiling, he suddenly exclaimed, "Mommy, the angel is smiling at me." The mother's heart trembled. She couldn't see what her son saw, but she could feel a gentle presence filling the room. Why can children sense angels more clearly than adults? Perhaps because their hearts remain pure, untouched by the hardness of the world. As we grow older, carrying the burdens of life, doubting the unseen, we unknowingly close the door to our souls. But the angels do not give up. They remain patiently waiting, ready to lift us up the moment we are willing to open our hearts. If one day you feel lost, try closing your eyes. Let your soul be still. Let your heart speak. You may not see them, but you will feel them in a strange sense of peace, in an invisible warmth surrounding you, in a gentle light deep within your heart. Guardian angels never leave. They are simply waiting for you to recognize their presence. Near-death experiences. When guardian angels appear most clearly. There are moments in life when we stand on the fragile boundary between life and death. It is in these moments that we most clearly feel the presence of something sacred, a hidden hand shielding us, a gentle yet powerful force pulling us back from the edge. It may happen in a terrible accident, during a life-threatening illness, or even when our hearts have grown so weary that we feel like giving up entirely. And yet, at that very moment, something miraculous occurs, something beyond rational explanation. Those who have experienced near-death moments often describe similar things: a sensation of detachment from their body, a warm, gentle light, a voice whispering words of reassurance. Some say they saw a magnificent figure with translucent wings glowing like the dawn. Others recall feeling a warm hand placed on their shoulder, pulling them back from the brink of death. And there are those who, just as they were about to surrender, felt an invisible strength pushing them to keep fighting for life. One man suffered a stroke while alone in his empty house. As he collapsed to the floor and his consciousness faded, he felt as if his soul was being pulled away from his body. But in that moment, he suddenly heard a voice, not loud, but resounding in his mind. "Not yet. You must go back. He felt surrounded by a radiant light, as if someone was holding him, filling him with an inexplicable energy. When he opened his eyes, he found himself lying on the floor, his heart still beating. He could not explain what had happened, but he knew, without a doubt, that something greater had been there with him. Some people have even reported seeing angels during a loved one's final moments. A nurse once shared that, in the last minutes before a patient passed away, she often noticed a change in their eyes, a brightness, as if they were seeing something beautiful beyond this world. Some patients whispered, "I see them. They're here for me." Before leaving this world, it seems that the soul gains the ability to perceive celestial beings, angels who have come to guide them to a better place. However, not everyone departs when their time seems to come. Some are brought back because their mission in this world is not yet complete. One woman fell into a deep coma after a severe car accident. Doctors had little hope for her recovery, and her family prepared for the worst. But on the third day, she woke up. When she finally spoke, she described an endless field bathed in the softest, most radiant light she had ever seen. She saw a figure in white, with eyes as deep and kind as the ocean. The figure smiled and said, "It's not your time. Go back, for you still have much to do." She had never believed in angels before, but after that experience, she never doubted again. Guardian angels may not always appear in the way we expect. They may not have dazzling wings, nor may they speak to us in words, but they are always there, watching over each of our steps, protecting us even when we do not realize it. Perhaps it was a disaster we narrowly escaped. Perhaps it was an illness that should have claimed us, yet somehow we recovered. Perhaps it was an unexplainable instinct, a whisper urging us to avoid a dangerous path. It is not just mere luck, it is God's love, sent to us through our guardian angels. If you have ever felt alone, think back to the times you escaped danger without explanation. Remember the moments when, amid life's storms, a strange sense of peace embraced you. Recall the times when your heart felt like it was breaking, yet somehow you found the strength to keep moving forward. That was your guardian angel whispering to you, "I am always here, protecting you until the day you are truly ready to come home." 6. Signs that your guardian angel is near. Have you ever felt an overwhelming sense of peace in your heart, even when surrounded by chaos? Have you ever received a clear answer just when you needed it most, or experienced an unexplainable sense of reassurance in times of doubt? Have you ever encountered signs so miraculous that they made you feel as though someone was protecting you? If so, your guardian angel may be closer than you think. Angels do not always appear as we imagine them, with large, radiant wings and a glowing aura. Instead, they manifest in subtle ways, through delicate signs that only those who are still enough can perceive. They whisper, they guide, and they leave small traces to remind you that you are never alone on this journey. Sometimes you may feel a wave of warmth wrapping around you, like a sudden comfort on a cold winter day. This is not just a feeling. It could be the presence of your guardian angel, reminding you that you are loved, no matter how difficult life may become. Those who have experienced this describe it as an invisible embrace, so soothing that it brings tears to their eyes without reason. Sometimes you repeatedly see certain numbers, 111, 222, 444, on clocks, license plates, or receipts. These numbers are not coincidences. They are angel numbers, messages from the unseen world, reminding you that you are being guided, that you are on the right path, or that you need to pause and listen. The number 444, in particular, is often believed to be a direct sign that your guardian angel is right beside you, shielding you from harm. Sometimes, a song plays at the exact moment you need to hear it. A lyric, a melody that you have heard before, suddenly carries a deeper meaning, as if it were written just for you in that moment. This is no mere coincidence. It may be one of the ways your guardian angel sends you a message, reminding you of something important that you may have forgotten. Sometimes you catch a mysterious scent, a gentle fragrance of roses, a sweet hint of vanilla, or a familiar aroma that reminds you of childhood. There is no one around, no flowers in sight, yet the scent lingers, as if to signal that someone from the spiritual realm is near. Many have shared that they have smelled these fragrances in their darkest moments, as if to reassure them that they are not alone. Sometimes a feather appears right before you, even when there are no birds nearby. White feathers have long been considered signs of angels, gentle messages that you are being protected. One woman, grieving the loss of her mother, repeatedly found feathers in the most unexpected places. One evening, as she cried in her bedroom, a small white feather floated onto her bed, despite all the windows being closed. As she picked it up, she felt an unexplainable peace, as if someone was whispering, "I am still here." Sometimes you feel a light touch on your shoulder, or an unseen hand holding yours when you are afraid, a subtle but undeniable reassurance, as though someone is comforting you. Those who have felt this say it is a moment they will never forget, for in that instant they knew with certainty that someone, though invisible, was watching over them. Sometimes a dream comes to you, a dream unlike any other, one that carries a clear message. You see a stranger who feels deeply familiar, smiling at you, holding your hand, or speaking words of profound meaning. This could be your guardian angel, or a departed loved one, sending you a message from beyond, reminding you of something important. Sometimes you escape danger by mere seconds. A car brakes just in time. A step backward spares you from an accident, or an inexplicable urge stops you from taking a risky path. These moments may seem like luck, but beneath the surface, they could be the intervention of your guardian angel, watching over you from the unseen world. Sometimes you feel an undeniable inner nudge. Do this. Avoid that path. Trust this instinct. Let go of that situation. This is not just intuition. It could be your guardian angel guiding you, trying to steer you away from choices that could lead to pain. If you listen, if you trust this feeling, you may realize that it is always right. If you have ever experienced any of these signs, remember that you are never truly alone. You are not fighting through this world by yourself. Someone is always beside you, even if you cannot see them. There is always a gentle yet powerful presence protecting you, guiding you, and loving you, even when you are unaware of it. Guardian angels are not always celestial beings from heaven. Sometimes they are flesh and blood people whom God has placed in your life, a friend, a mentor, a stranger who helps you in a moment of need. God always finds ways to remind you that you are never abandoned. Open your heart to feel their presence. Pay attention to the small signs they leave behind. Believe that you are always loved, even when you cannot see it. Because right now, a guardian angel is standing beside you, smiling and whispering, "You are not alone." 7. The whispers of angels, listening to messages from heaven. In the quietest moments of life, when your soul settles amidst the hurried flow of the world, have you ever felt a gentle voice rise within? A whisper that does not come from human lips, yet is clearer than any sound. It is not an illusion, nor is it a figment of your imagination. It may very well be your guardian angel sending you a message. Angels do not speak in ordinary words. They communicate through signs, feelings, and miraculous events that cannot be explained by logic. They do not command or force. They simply nudge, like a passing breeze, like a small light in the darkness. But to hear them, you must learn to open your heart, to be still, and to trust that these messages are not mere coincidences. There are moments when you stand at a major crossroads in life, and a powerful feeling rises within, urging you toward a specific path. It is not just a passing thought, but a deep, undeniable pull, as if someone is guiding you from within. If you listen to it, if you trust it, you will realize that this is how angels speak to you. There are times when you are torn between two choices, and just as you lift your eyes, you see a phrase on a billboard, a verse in a church, or a quote in a book you randomly open. It feels as if it was written just for you. at that exact moment when you needed it most. That is not a coincidence. That is a message. There are times when your heart is weighed down by sorrow you cannot put into words, and suddenly an old friend calls, asking about you, encouraging you, without even knowing how much you needed to hear their voice. They did not come to you by chance. Sometimes guardian angels do not appear as celestial beings with wings. They come in the form of the people around you, reminding you that you are not alone. There are times when you wake up in the middle of the night, for no apparent reason, yet a phrase, an image, or a strong intuition about something lingers in your mind. You cannot explain it, but you know it matters. Do not ignore these moments. They may be messages from your angel. Guardian angels do not interfere with our lives in a forceful way. They do not force us to choose one path over another. They simply shine a light on the road ahead, but it is always up to us to take the steps forward. That is the free will that God has granted every soul on this earth. But one thing is certain. If you learn to listen, if you trust in their guidance, you will see your life filled with miracles. You will notice answers arriving at the perfect time. You will see doors opening just as you are ready to walk through them. You will feel an invisible hand catching you whenever you are about to fall. So how can you listen more clearly to these whispers? First, learn to be still. In this noisy and chaotic world, our minds are easily distracted by countless external sounds, work, responsibilities, endless worries. But to hear angels, you must enter a space of peace. Take moments each day to be alone, to pray, to meditate. It is in these moments that you will feel their presence more clearly than ever. Second, trust your intuition. If a strong feeling rises within you, pay attention. If a thought keeps repeating in your mind, reflect on it. Do not dismiss things simply because they cannot be explained logically. Angels speak the language of the soul, not the rigid reasoning of humans. Third, be aware of the signs around you. Maybe a butterfly keeps appearing by your window every day. Maybe you hear a phrase that deeply resonates with you. Maybe you have a dream that feels profound and unforgettable. These could all be messages. Be more sensitive to what is happening around you. Finally, open your heart to love and light. Angels are always near, but if you close your heart out of fear, doubt, or past wounds, you may not feel their presence. Believe that you are worthy of love, of guidance, of miracles. You are never alone on this journey. Some things are beyond human understanding, but that does not mean they are not real. You do not have to see with your eyes to believe. You only need to feel with your heart. And when you listen deeply enough, when you trust fully, you will realize something wonderful. You have never walked through life alone. The angels have always been whispering. 8. The fragile moments between life and death. When angels appear, life is like a flickering candle in the wind, more fragile than we realize. At times, we believe we have all the time in the world, countless days ahead, yet none of us truly know what tomorrow holds. In that delicate space, there are moments when people feel, more clearly than ever, the presence of something sacred. When standing on the thin line between life and death, when the soul is preparing to leave this world, many have recounted seeing their angel. There are those who have come close to death, but returned, carrying extraordinary stories. They are no longer skeptics, nor do they fear death, for they have seen the light. They have seen their angel arriving in their final moments, not with their physical eyes, but with a perception more powerful than any human sense. It is a warmth that fills the soul, a radiant light that does not blind, a peace unlike anything they have ever known. Some patients, lying in hospital beds, have shared their visions. They describe a figure dressed in white standing beside them, saying nothing, only gazing at them with deep love. They feel a gentle hand placed upon their forehead, bringing peace in the midst of unbearable pain. And the strangest part, when they ask the doctors or nurses, none of them had been in the room at that moment. There are elderly people who, just before taking their last breath, suddenly smile and say, "They're here. They are beautiful." Some may think they are dreaming, but what is remarkable is that their smile is not one of confusion. It is a smile of absolute serenity, as if they have seen a long-lost loved one or an angel waiting to guide them home. There are also children, with their pure and untainted souls, who tell their parents about a special friend in their room, a figure that glows with light, reassuring them not to be afraid. Parents may dismiss it as imagination, but when they hear their child describe these encounters in vivid detail, they begin to wonder, did my child really see an angel? These stories are not rare. All over the world, thousands of people have shared similar experiences. They do not know each other. They have no prior connection. Yet they all have one thing in common. They have felt the presence of an angel in life's most fragile moments. Why do angels appear at such times? Because guardian angels do not only protect us in life, they are also the ones who guide our souls when we leave this world. When our final moment approaches, they do not let us go alone. They come to comfort us, to remind us that this journey is not truly ending, that the other side is not as frightening as we once imagined. For those who believe in God, the presence of angels in these moments is a confirmation that heaven is real, that God does not abandon his children, that he always sends his protectors to guide us, even when our physical eyes cannot see them. There is a touching story of an elderly woman suffering from a terminal illness. As her final days drew near, she no longer felt fear or worry. She told her family that every night a woman in white stood by her bed, holding her hand, whispering words of comfort. No one else in the family could see anything, but she did not mind. To her, what mattered was the overwhelming sense of peace that presence brought her. On the day she passed, her face showed no pain, only a profound serenity. So what does this mean for us, the ones who are still living? It is a reminder that we are never truly alone. That even when life is difficult, when pain brings us to our knees, there is always a gentle presence watching over us. And that when our final day comes, we do not need to fear, because an angel will be there, waiting to bring us home. What matters is not whether we see angels, but whether we believe they are there, because that belief brings us a deep and lasting peace, the peace of knowing we are loved, protected, and guided, even when we cannot see it. So when a loved one departs from this world, remember, they did not go alone. Believe that someone came to take their hand. Believe that they have stepped into a place where pain and fear no longer exist. And when your own time comes, know that you too will not walk alone. The angels have always been beside us, even when we do not see them. 9. Signs of angels when they are near but we do not realize. Angels are always with us, yet we often fail to recognize their presence. In the rush of daily life, we become consumed by worries, sorrows, and earthly concerns. Our spiritual vision is clouded by burdens, making us forget that there is always a silent protector, always a hand reaching out just as we are about to fall. We often expect miracles to be obvious, a voice from heaven, radiant wings appearing before our eyes. But angels do not always reveal themselves this way. They are as gentle as a passing breeze, as subtle as sunlight filtering through the leaves. They are present in the simplest moments, and only when our hearts are still enough can we truly sense them. Have you ever been overwhelmed by sadness, only to suddenly feel an inexplicable sense of comfort, as if a warm embrace surrounded your heart? Have you ever felt an invisible hand lifting you when you thought you had no strength left? That is your angel. At times, when you feel lost, uncertain of which path to take, a sign appears. A book opens to the exact page you need. A stranger speaks the words your soul longs to hear, or a song plays at just the right moment. These are not coincidences. They are loving arrangements from your angel. Have you ever felt as if someone was watching over you, not in a frightening way, but in the gentle way of a dear friend always by your side? Sometimes, in quiet moments, when you sit alone and gaze at the sky, you may realize that you are not alone at all. Angels can also work through the people around us. A friend suddenly appears just when you need them most. A stranger offers help in a moment of difficulty. Someone speaks exactly the words your heart has been yearning for. They may not realize they are acting as messengers of God, but your angel has placed them on your path to deliver a message of love. Some have shared that in their most dangerous moments, they felt an unseen force pulling them away from harm, even when no one was around. Others, in their darkest despair, have heard a whisper in their minds, "Do not give up." And the voice was so strong that they could not ignore it. There is a story of a man who once stood on the edge of a bridge, ready to end his life. He felt there was no reason to continue. But just as he was about to take a step forward, a powerful gust of wind knocked him off balance, and he heard a voice in his heart, "You are not alone. You are loved." He looked around. No one was there. But in that moment, everything changed. He stepped back, wept, and began searching for meaning in his life again. Many believe that angels also communicate through dreams. Some dreams are not like ordinary fantasies, but bring an unexplainable peace. In these dreams, you may see a figure dressed in white, smiling warmly, gently touching your heart. When you wake, the details may fade, but a sense of calm remains. This could be your angel visiting you. There are also subtler signs, tiny feathers appearing unexpectedly in your path, or a soft glimmer of light in a darkened room. Some people frequently see angel numbers, repeating sequences like 111, 222, or 333, appearing strangely often on clocks, license plates, or receipts. These numbers are not mere coincidences, but messages from angels, reminding you that they are near and guiding you. How can we become more aware of angels? Open your heart. Believe that you are never alone. Trust that unconditional love is watching over you every day. When you begin to believe, you will start noticing signs you once overlooked. Embrace stillness. When our souls are too noisy, too consumed by the chaos of life, we struggle to hear the subtle messages from angels. But when we take time for silence, prayer, or meditation, we become more attuned to their presence. Listen to your intuition. Often, intuition is not just a fleeting thought. It is a form of guidance from your angel. When you feel something isn't right, or when you feel a strong pull toward something, don't ignore it. Trust in the guidance being given to you. Practice gratitude. When you start appreciating the small miracles in life, a beautiful sunset, a stranger's smile, a moment of peace amid a busy day, you will recognize that angels are constantly sending little gifts to remind you that you are loved. Angels do not need us to see them with our physical eyes. They do not require us to have supernatural experiences to believe in them. They need only one thing: for us to know that we are never truly alone, that we are deeply loved, and that we are always being silently protected on this journey. So next time something magical happens, don't dismiss it as coincidence. Remember, there is an angel watching over you. You may not see them, but they are always there. 10. When prayer opens the door to the angelic realm. There are times when life feels overwhelming. Burdens pile up, weighing down our hearts, and worries entangle our steps, making them falter. In these moments, it is easy to feel lost, as if we are walking alone through an endless darkness. But there is a divine gift given to each of us: prayer. Prayer is more than words, more than repeated phrases. It is a doorway to another world, a world of love, comfort, and divine guidance. When we pray with all our hearts, when we allow our souls to become still, we can touch the realm of angels and feel their presence more deeply. Prayer is the bridge between humanity and heaven. It does not require elaborate rituals or complex ceremonies, only sincerity. It can be a whispered plea in the night, a sigh filled with hope, or even silent tears falling when words fail. There is a story of a woman who had lost everything: her family, her job, her health. It felt as if life had turned its back on her. In her despair, she knelt down, closed her eyes, and could only whisper 3 words: God, help me. She did not expect a miracle, nor did she anticipate a voice from the heavens. But in that moment, she felt a gentle warmth surrounding her, as if an unseen embrace was wrapping around her. That was when she realized she was not alone. Prayer allows angels to hear us more clearly. When we sincerely turn our hearts toward God, our guardian angels draw closer. They place their hands upon our shoulders and whisper words of comfort to our souls. When we pray not out of fear, but out of faith, sacred doors begin to open. Some people have shared that during prayer, they have felt an inexplicable light surrounding them, even in complete darkness. Others have heard a gentle voice in their minds, urging them to keep going, to trust, to let go of their sorrows. Angels never ignore a heartfelt prayer, but sometimes their answers come in ways we do not expect. We may ask for an immediate escape, but angels bring us patience instead. We may pray for a miracle, but they send us people who help us in small yet profound ways. We may seek deliverance, but they give us strength to keep fighting. Sometimes, prayer does not change our circumstances, but it changes us. It opens our eyes to things we previously overlooked and allows us to sense the presence of angels in the most tender ways. If you carry wounds in your heart, if you feel lost in this world, try praying. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and let your heart speak. Let the burdens on your shoulders dissolve with each breath. Believe that even when you cannot see them, angels are listening. There are moments when we think we are completely alone, but in truth, all we need to do is open our hearts to see that we have never been abandoned. Pray, trust, and you will see that the light has never left your side. 11. Signs of angelic presence when death draws near. There are moments in life when we sense something extraordinary, an inexplicable presence that logic cannot define. When a person is about to depart from this world, miraculous signs often appear, subtle yet profound. Not everyone notices them, but those with faith recognize these as signs of a guardian angel's presence. Have you ever heard stories of a loved one just before passing, smiling peacefully as if they had witnessed something beautiful? Have you ever seen a terminally ill person, after enduring immense pain, suddenly become inexplicably calm, as though fear no longer had a hold on them? These are among the signs left by angels. There are countless accounts of people on their deathbeds describing visions of radiant light, seeing deceased loved ones, or hearing warm, comforting voices. For believers, these are not mere hallucinations. They are glimpses beyond the veil, moments when the barrier between worlds becomes thin, and guardian angels draw near to escort a soul to heaven. A 90-year-old woman lay bedridden in her final days. For weeks, she had been unresponsive, unable to speak or even open her eyes, trapped between life and death. Then, one day, she suddenly opened her eyes, gazed upward, and smiled. Softly, she whispered, "I see them. They are so beautiful. They've come to take me home." A few hours later, she passed peacefully in her sleep, her face radiating a serenity her family had never seen before. Even young children, too innocent to grasp spiritual concepts, have spoken of seeing angels with luminous wings encircling their hospital beds before they left this world. How could they imagine such things if they had not truly seen them? Guardian angels do not only protect us in life, they also guide us when death approaches. No one crosses into eternity alone. Angels walk beside us, holding our hands, leading us toward the light. They soothe pain, dissolve fear, and bring a peace that few experience on their own in their final moments. Some may not see angels with their eyes, but they sense their presence in other ways. A gentle breeze in a sealed room, a voice reassuring them in their mind, or a mysterious, sweet fragrance lingering in the air. These are not coincidences. They are signs of angelic presence. To many, death is frightening, but to those with faith, it is merely a doorway, one that angels lovingly open, guiding us into a place beyond suffering and sorrow. If you have ever lost a loved one, trust that they did not leave this world alone. They were welcomed, protected, and embraced by their guardian angels. And one day, when it is your time to step through that doorway, do not be afraid. Your angel will be there, ready to lead you home. 12. How to recognize signs from your guardian angel. As we journey through life, there are times when we feel lost, unsure of which direction to take. We pray through tears, hoping for a miracle, a sign from God, something to assure us that we are not alone. Yet, in the busyness of life, we often overlook the very signs that have been present all along. Guardian angels never abandon us, but how can we become more aware of their presence? The signs from angels can be subtle, like a cool breeze on a sweltering summer day, an unexplainable warmth when we are feeling down, or a dream that brings unexpected peace. But at times, they can be more direct, leaving us to wonder if we are open and attentive enough to recognize them. 1. Unusual light appearances. One of the most common angelic signs is the presence of mysterious light. Have you ever seen small flickering lights in the air, even when there was no obvious light source? Or perhaps, just when you were contemplating something important, a beam of sunlight softly filtered through your window, enveloping you in warmth. These are not coincidences. Many believe such occurrences are ways in which angels reassure us of their presence, reminding us that we are not alone. 2. Feathers in unexpected places. Another well-known sign is the appearance of white feathers. Have you ever found a pure white feather in an unexpected place? On your desk, your bed, or right outside your door? Many believe that when a guardian angel is near, they leave behind small, yet meaningful traces to comfort us. These feathers serve as gentle messages, affirming that you are being watched over and protected. 3. Repeating angel numbers. Have you repeatedly noticed numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 on clocks, license plates, receipts, or in other random places? These are known as angel numbers, believed to be divine messages guiding and encouraging you. Each number carries a unique meaning, some reminding you that you're on the right path, others offering reassurance during difficult times. 4. Dreams of angels or divine beings. Dreams can be a powerful way for angels to communicate with us. Many have shared experiences of dreaming about an unknown yet loving presence, or of being surrounded by radiant light that brings them immense peace. Even if the dream's details fade upon waking, the sense of comfort lingers. This, too, is a sign that your guardian angel has reached out to you. 5. Unexplained sounds or music. Sometimes an unexpected song or sound carries a divine message. Have you ever heard a song that perfectly matches what you were feeling or thinking at that moment? Or perhaps a distant bell chime, even when no bell was nearby. Angels are believed to communicate through sound vibrations, letting you know they are near. 6. Strong intuitive feelings. There are moments when you stand at a crossroads, struggling to decide. Then, suddenly, you feel a strong, unshakable pull toward a particular choice, even if it doesn't seem logical. This is the subtle guidance of your guardian angel. While they cannot interfere with your free will, they can plant intuitive nudges within your heart, leading you toward the right path. 7. A sudden sense of peace. One of the most overlooked yet profound signs is a spontaneous feeling of calmness. Even in the middle of chaos, you might suddenly feel as if an invisible hand has rested on your shoulder, whispering, "Everything will be okay." This quiet but powerful reassurance is often the presence of your guardian angel, offering you divine comfort. Guardian angels communicate with us in ways both small and extraordinary. The question is, are we open to receiving their signs? When we truly believe, when we quiet our hearts and pay attention, we begin to see the miraculous unfold around us. If you're searching for a sign from your guardian angel, don't rush or force it. Simply take a deep breath, be still, and allow yourself to listen and feel. When you do, you will realize that they have never left your side, not since childhood, and not in the moments when you need them most. So never think that you walk this path alone. Your guardian angel is always near, loving and protecting you, whether you see them or not. The moment between life and death and the appearance of guardian angels. When a person reaches the delicate threshold between life and death, it is as if another world unfolds before them. In that moment, the boundary between the physical and the spiritual fades, and the human soul is no longer confined by the limits of earthly existence. Many who have come close to death recount extraordinary experiences, visions of radiant light, celestial melodies, and the presence of gentle figures who bring comfort and strength. Among these miraculous encounters, one of the most sacred is the appearance of a guardian angel. We have all heard stories of people who have approached death and returned, describing a magnificent light unlike anything they had ever seen, along with an indescribable sense of peace. Yet, what moves them the most is the vision of an angel, a loving and compassionate being waiting for them as if they had been there all along. Not everyone can see their guardian angel during their lifetime, but as the final moment draws near, it is as if a veil is lifted, revealing what was once hidden. It is in this instant that spiritual eyes open, allowing the dying to perceive the presence of their celestial protector. The angel does not appear to bring fear, but rather to comfort and guide the soul toward the light. Many who have had near-death experiences report seeing beautiful visions, Perhaps a long-lost loved one, a glowing angel, or simply an overwhelming sensation of love surrounding them. These stories transcend cultural and religious boundaries, appearing across the world and throughout history, suggesting that something divine awaits us beyond life's threshold. One particularly touching story tells of an elderly woman on her deathbed. Too weak to speak, she lay quietly as her final days approached. Then, one day, she suddenly smiled and whispered, "I see the light. Someone is waiting for me." When her family asked who it was, she softly replied, "An angel, so beautiful." Moments later, she closed her eyes, passing away in perfect peace. It was not fear that accompanied her, but serenity, as if she knew she was not leaving alone. It is not only the dying who sense the presence of angels. Sometimes those who remain behind also witness signs of their loved one's passage. Many recount feeling a sudden, gentle breeze in the room, seeing an unexplainable glow, or even hearing a faint, melodic sound, almost like an angel's song. These subtle yet profound occurrences are often believed to be signs from the guardian angel, assuring that the departing soul has been received and guided to a place of peace. But why do guardian angels appear at the final moment? Perhaps it is because they are the soul's most faithful companions, watching over us from birth until the very last breath. They do not interfere with our free will, but they protect, support, and, when our earthly journey ends, they are the ones who lead us home to God. Many wonder, why can't we see our guardian angels during everyday life? The answer may be that our faith is not strong enough, or that our eyes remain bound to the material world. But in the moment of death, when the soul is freed from earthly worries and fears, the divine becomes clear. These experiences are not meant to instill fear of death, but to help us understand that death is not an end. It is simply a doorway to a new journey. And on that journey, we are never alone. Our guardian angel, God, and the light of love are always there, waiting for us. If you fear what lies ahead, remember, you are not alone. Even if you cannot see them, your guardian angel is always watching over you. They will never abandon you, and when your time comes, they will take your hand and guide you to where you truly belong, a place of eternal love, peace, and light. So do not be afraid. Live with faith, love, and hope in God. Believe that miracles are unfolding around you, even when you cannot see them. And when your time on this earth comes to an end, know that your guardian angel will be there, waiting to welcome you home. 14. The final reunion. When the soul returns home. One thing is certain. Each of us will one day reach the end of our earthly journey. Death is not an absolute end, but a transition, a doorway to another realm where the soul continues to exist in the light of the divine. And in that sacred moment, a miraculous event unfolds. The reunion between the soul and its guardian angel, the faithful companion who has walked beside us throughout life, even if we never realized it. As the final moment approaches, many people experience an overwhelming sense of peace. The pain of the body fades, earthly burdens dissolve, and a profound lightness takes over, as if the soul is being lifted and embraced by an infinite love. Those who have returned from near-death experiences often speak of a magnificent light shining ahead, and within that light, a presence awaits, a guardian angel, a guiding spirit, a being who has loved them from the very beginning. A guardian angel is not just a protector from earthly dangers, but also the one who leads us to our eternal home. In the sacred realm beyond, there is no loneliness, for our angel has always been with us through every moment of fear, every stumble, every silent tear shed in sorrow. And now, as our time on earth draws to a close, they have come to guide us home. Many have witnessed loved ones pass away, and in their final moments, something extraordinary happens. Some smile just before their last breath, their eyes fixed on a point beyond this world, as if seeing something unseen by those around them. Some have even spoken softly, saying, "They are here," or "I see the light." These are not mere illusions. They may be glimpses of the guardian angel's presence, waiting to welcome them. Not everyone perceives their guardian angel during life, but when the soul is freed from its earthly form, the truth becomes clear. This is not a chance encounter. It is a reunion, a realization that we have never been alone, never abandoned, even in the darkest of times. A touching story tells of a young woman battling a terminal illness. Throughout her final years, she often felt an invisible presence by her side, a comforting force she could not explain. Then, in her last moments, surrounded by family, she opened her eyes one final time, gazed upward, and whispered, "You are so beautiful," before peacefully passing away. Had she seen her guardian angel at last? Guardian angels do not only appear to the dying. Sometimes their presence is felt by those who remain. Stories abound of mysterious, gentle lights appearing in hospital rooms, a soft breeze passing through despite closed windows, or an inexplicable, soothing fragrance filling the air. These signs may be the angel's way of assuring us that our loved one has been safely guided to a place of peace. So, how should we prepare for this sacred reunion? Do not wait until the final moment to seek your guardian angel, for they have always been there, watching over you. Open your heart, listen for the subtle signs in your life, and live with love, gratitude, and the faith that you are never truly alone. If you ever feel lost, remember that your guardian angel is always beside you, ready to reach out when you need them most. They cannot remove every trial from your path, but they will strengthen you, comfort you, and remind you of the miracles that surround you. And when your time on earth comes to an end, they will not let you walk that final path alone. They will wait for you, take your hand, and guide you to a place where there are no more tears, no more pain, only the eternal light and boundless love of God. Live each day as if preparing for a long and beautiful journey, and trust that at the end of the road, someone is waiting with open arms. This is not the end, but the beginning of an everlasting voyage, where your soul will finally be embraced in the light of heaven. Do not be afraid. You will not walk alone. And when your time comes, your guardian angel will be there, smiling, whispering softly, "Let's go home." Thank you for taking this sacred journey with me. May these words bring you peace, hope, and unwavering faith in the love of God. May your guardian angel always watch over you, guiding and protecting you every step of the way. May God bless you.